We're recording?
Yeah, we are.
All right. Welcome back to Bad Movies Rule, the worst movie podcast ever recorded. And people without water will do anything, so shiver me timbers, we're all becoming ice pirates.
I was disappointed that R didn't turn into Burr.
I feel like I made the comment a few episodes ago that all of our movies are starting to fall into this dystopian future.
Yeah.
Either war is outlawed and we're taking sad pills, or it's robot fights, or now we're back to after a cosmic war.
Yeah.
Water is in short supply. I'm like, it's turned into the only movies we do.
Like Boyfriend School? That's
exactly
totally
like
dystopian.
that. Well, we need to do another one like Boyfriend School because we're starting to get into
Said by nobody.
we're starting to get into a lane here, and I don't intend for it to be, but it's what's happening.
We've turned this into really bad movies rule.
That's right. That's right. And this one we're talking about today. As I said, it's called Ice Pirates, and the reason we're talking about Ice Pirates is because of our Patreon. This is the first. Well, actually, our second, but that's because the next one's it's reversed, is the next one. But regardless.
What?
So it's the first.
Huh?
It's the first
My eyes are
Patreon poll winner.
When is then now?
Now. They voted
The time warp.
Ice Pirates. I put a bunch of movies out there, and Ice Pirates, I wouldn't say barely, a little more than barely beat out Remo Williams. And so the reason we're talking about Ice Pirates today is because of our Patreon.
I don't even know. Is that a movie? Remo Williams?
Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins.
Oh.
You know they thought they were getting a sequel.
Oh, yeah.
When you name it The Adventure Begins, but there was
Remo
no
Williams,
sequel.
#1.
That's a Fred Ward movie, which we'll probably do at some point. But
Fred Ward.
yeah, it lost, so we can't do it right now.
Oh.
With us this morning, we've got Mr. Mel Vandy straight from the shoe store. How are you, Mel?
I'm tagged in this morning.
You look like you got some sun.
I did get some sun. We had an outdoor spectacular. We set up the tent sale 2 for 1.
Nice.
And
How'd it go?
it was
I was
phenomenal.
there. I bought some shoes.
That's awesome. And now you're set for the year, and you're all in the green
I'm set for Tuesday.
till Tuesday.
Wow.
Sold enough to keep the doors open till Tuesday. Well, here's hoping you're open the rest of the week.
Yeah, I think that was first in BMR history. We had a tap out. And
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Vandy stepped up to the plate.
I couldn't believe Clint bailed on
I
this.
loved it.
I can believe he bailed on
So
me.
I have to give him the requisite amount of crap for not being here.
Please give Clint crap.
Because there's been so many movies that so many of us have been like, I can't believe you dragged in here for Boyfriend School.
Yeah,
you didn't
me.
want to.
I dragged
hated
in for
it.
Boyfriend
Same.
School.
Oh, you
Me
did
and
too.
him,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you didn't want to do it.
No.
And there's,
No.
I'm sure other movies you guys were like, I can't believe we have
Yeah,
to talk about
I'll text you halfway through the week, and I'm like, man, this was a stinker.
this. Right, but you know what? You showed up.
Yeah, I did. I showed up, and I did my job.
But he literally he hated it so much he didn't even want to do the
It was
episode.
like, no, I'm literally trying to find something else to do on this day that you guys are going
this day.
guys are going to do this.
And so the good news is they did so good at the shoe sale, he can take a day off, and Mel Vandy is here. So
Taking the day off.
Fantastic.
appreciate that,
Glad
Mel.
to have you here.
You should really try to get your shoe store away from Rogan shoes.
We're trying.
You're like right across the street.
Joe Rogan has a shoe store?
Yeah.
Tap out shoes.
Is there anything he can't do? Is there anything he can't do? Joining us this morning also is Mr. Kurt Mummer. How are you, Kurt?
I'm good. I'm so happy to be here this morning.
That's good. You seem like you're just wide-eyed,
Well,
awake.
I'm in the middle of vacation, and I decided, you know what? I'm still going to do the podcast. So I literally left my family at the water park and came here.
That's dedication right there.
I love
Incredible.
this show.
No one would ever question your
Clint,
loyalty.
Suck it.
Not only are you here, you ditched your family
Yeah.
to come talk about Ice Pirates.
Ice pirates.
pirates.
Yar. Or burr.
Burr.
As Vandy said over there.
Also, this morning, we've got Mr. Joseph Korotowski in the house. Hi, Joe.
Hey.
What's up, man?
Anyway,
Rocking your St. Louis Blues
Yeah.
hat today.
just something.
Just
I'm here today.
didn't want to have to do your hair. I get it.
Nope, exactly.
What's the minimal effort I can put in?
Right now. This is it. I'm here. I have a chiropractic appointment after this.
So do I. So no joke. So do I.
Are you kidding me?
Literally like 2
Over
o'clock
at-
this afternoon.
right over there?
Well, I don't want to say it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The A one?
At the one. It's we can talk about. We can compare our
Jeez.
Our
chiropractors.
Nothing
later.
says like we're over 40 than talking about chiropractic. Awesome.
Carrying this show really puts the stress on the
It
family.
really does. It really does. Well, thank you all for being here this morning. As I said, we're talking about ice pirates. So let's get some of these vitals out of the way just so you guys can get the lay of the land and know who and what we're talking about this morning. Ice Pirates from 1984. So when we were like 5 years old, which is about who this movie was made for. It was directed by Stuart Raffel, like the ticket, maybe? I don't know. Raphael? Is that how you do it?
Raphael.
Falafel.
I was like, okay, who's this guy? Whatever. I'll give him the benefit. I start watching the movie. Then I look him up and I'm like, this is the Mac and Me guy. This is the guy.
Oh, well, then it makes total sense.
And I went, oh no, this is going to be terrible.
All I can think of is Paul Rudd in his interviews with Conan O'Brien
Right.
Yes.
showing the Mac and Me video
Yes.
constantly.
That has lived on far past the movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anytime that Mac and Me was done on Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh, I did
And if
not
you-
see that episode.
If you've got a movie done on that show, you know
You're
yeah.
right. It.
And so we're only riding those coattails here to talk about Ice Pirates. And the movie was also written by Stuart Raphael and Stanford Sherman.
Raphael.
Sherman.
Doesn't Stanford Sherman sound like something you have to say that way? Now, this dude also was a co-writer, Stanford Sherman was, on Krull from 1983, which is on our list we haven't done yet. But this guy, Kurt, you'll love this,
Yes.
was also a writer on the OG Adam West Batman series.
Nice.
The guy that co-wrote this
that
movie.
explains the jokes of this movie.
Who's this guy again? What's his
His
name?
name Stanford Sherman.
Oh, so he's a
Precisely, Sherman.
he's a college toilet paper.
That's right.
Got it.
Exactly. Perfect.
Sherman.
And
Don't squeeze the Sherman.
Sorry. Screw you. I'm done. You know, Clint, where's Clint? I'm going to go meet him.
don't meet Clint. Don't meet Clint.
I got another 5 minutes on Mr. Sherman here.
If you don't want any more Sherman jokes, I got to throw a whole page of this away. All right.
Nothing says 40 like Sherman jokes.
Right. Or the guy that looked perpetually 40, which was Robert Urich, the guy that starred in this movie.
Yeah, I don't. What is he? What else is he from?
Love Boat.
Love Boat, dude.
Oh, that's how I.
SWAT.
Where he looked 40 in
remember
every.
SWAT.
This dude was awesome.
When he was 20, he looked 40. When he was 60, he looked 40.
Wow, good for him.
Yeah.
He
So
must have got stuck in that time lapse
He did.
warp
He did.
thing.
So movie, yeah. So Robert Urich was the star movie. Also, Mary Crosby was in this movie. Michael D. Roberts, Angelica Houston, John Matusak, and lots of other ones that
Yeah,
we'll
JB
get into.
NFL great.
NFL great.
John Matusak.
Perman.
JB Smooth, right?
JB Smooth? No, that was not JB
That's not
Smooth.
JB Smooth in this movie.
But Joe, you're right. Hellboy is in this movie.
Yes.
Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman.
Oh
is
yeah,
in this
and what's her name from Morticia from the Addams Family?
Angelica Houston.
Oh,
yeah.
We're stuck in the time warp.
Just before they kind of exploded, they were in this movie. Everybody else that was actually billed above them in this movie went downward.
I see.
And then the people that were like supporting characters went on and had
Upward,
great careers after this. So it was one of those things. Movie had a budget of $9 million.
How?
Well, wait, there's even more info about that. It had a box office of $14 million, which means it only made $7 million for the studio, which is not going to get it done. So originally, this was supposed to be, no joke, a serious sci-fi movie.
That's what I've heard.
And it was
Then
given
they
a
hired
budget.
Sherman.
No, they were going to use the same guys. But it was it had a $20 million budget. Ooh. And then they cut the budget to $9 million.
Yikes.
And so because they got halved, or a little more than halved, they then decided to turn it into a comedy because they didn't have money to make it look good.
But they left the toilet scene from the original series.
Right. That was definitely still going to be in there.
Definitely with the chicken lady.
In fact, that guy had a whole, the scrotum alien.
Hot for you. Yeah.
That kid's in the hall reference there?
Yeah.
Nice.
The scrotum alien on the toilet was going to have a whole backstory and everything. And
Really?
be much more, bigger part of the plot. But they had to cut all that.
I see.
They just left the part where he farts on the toilet on.
Tank can be in the film.
That's all you need.
I'm also happy to know that toilet seats have not changed in a dystopian future.
Not at all.
No, not at all.
But they don't have money for doors on the stalls.
yes, no.
Just dividers.
That's right.
In the future, we don't need doors.
That's right. All you really, why can't you look straight ahead while you're pooping?
Yeah, just mind your business.
Just
Quit
don't look
looking at
side
it.
to side.
Yeah.
Pooping with friends.
That's what I'm saying.
That's all it is.
I've often wondered why there's doors on
It's a
stalls.
Roman thing. It's a Roman thing.
Right? Because
There's places that don't have doors.
there are there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, where you're pretty much sitting
At the shoe store?
sitting next to people.
Okay.
No, in shoe store training.
The movie currently sits at a 5.6 on IMDb, so just under Air America, which is just so funny to me.
That's so,
Air America flies
That's
slightly
right.
over it.
That's right, barely. Is it 9% on Rotten Tomatoes by the critics and 49% audience score? So both rotten, but almost half of the audience likes this movie.
What did I see that was 78% liked it? Maybe it was Google.
Yeah, well, maybe it might have been Google because
What does Google know?
Google has a percentage thing
Right,
too
yeah.
on there, yeah. But on RT it was 49%. So yeah, but here's my question to you guys: have any of you ever seen this movie before?
No, never.
Okay, so none of us going in had ever seen it.
As far as I had a cousin.
Okay.
Who thought this movie was the most hilarious thing ever.
Oh.
And he used to talk about it when I was way too young to be watching this movie.
Sure.
And he said a few of the jokes out of this thing.
There was
And
jokes?
I guess, but he thought it was the bee's knees of all movies. So I kind of jumped on this one because I thought, like, well, maybe to see what,
Now you get a
what he
chance
was
to
talking
see. Yeah,
about.
sure.
Yeah. Now I know my cousin is slightly brain dead now. So
All right, but all four of us came into this clean.
yeah.
And I don't. Here's the thing, guys. I don't even remember seeing like a poster or a box on the shelf at Blockbuster or anything for this movie.
Nothing.
no.
But apparently, there's all these people that knew about it. Obviously, our people on our Patreon all voted for it. Some of them even sent messages saying, "Oh yeah, you guys are doing Ice Pirates." And I'm like, so how do I miss some of these movies?
I think we were just at that age.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we were
Where
5.
Yeah.
So, I mean, unless by the time
Maybe if we'd been
another
like
5 years goes by and 10 when
For
we're like
10 or
really
12.
heavy
Yeah.
watching these kinds of movies, maybe we just missed out because it wasn't anything that it wasn't popular enough to
It
where
wasn't
it's
Teenage
when
Mutant
yeah.
Ninja Turtles.
Oh, and this was the same year that Buckaroo Banzai came out, and we kind of
We
all
missed
missed
that
that
one,
one too.
too.
Yeah.
So maybe we were just, if we'd been born in 1974
Yeah.
or something,
Right.
and we'd have been 5 years older, then
So, and that might
Yeah.
be the group that's being like, this is the best movie ever.
could be.
This would have been hilarious if we were 10. When
Oh,
this
yeah,
came out.
absolutely.
Oh my gosh, would have been the greatest thing ever.
I think that's what my age of my cousin was, 10.
Well, okay, well there you go.
Makes sense.
And so maybe don't hold it against your cousin now, because
Yeah.
if he liked it when he was 10,
Yeah.
it makes sense. Unless he's still super into it, then that's weird.
I think he's still into it.
Okay, well, all right, fine. Hey, well, let's jump in. We're gonna do what we do, guys. We always kind of walk you through the movie, plot by plot, step by step, after we give you the vitals, and then we're gonna, literally dissect this thing and do an autopsy on Ice Pirates, and then at the end, we'll give some awards out to it, and we'll determine whether it's a bad movie, just full stop, or if it's a bad movie that is enjoyable, or as we say, a bad movie that rules. Or is everyone wrong and it is straight up a good movie?
So, in other words, are we going to turn this movie into a eunuch?
We're going to do exactly that right now on this table. And but before we do that,
spoil it.
I just want to say thank you to everybody who's listening right now. Thanks for checking out the podcast. As we continue to grow, it's because of you guys. So thank you for everything that you guys do. If you could do us a big favor, leave us a review. If you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, drop us a 5-star. Everyone that we get is going to liken the possibility that Spotify or Apple will shoot us out and suggest us to more people, and it'll really help the podcast grow. The thing you could do is share it on your socials, send it to a friend. Word of mouth is the best way for podcasts to spread, and just thank you for all again that you're doing out there. There's all kinds of ways to interact with the show. You can send us an email to our email address, which is thisshowIstrash@gmail.com. It's a good spot to ask us questions or clarify things from episodes, or tell us all the things we screwed up and did wrong, or send some hate mail to Bob, or suggest some new movies for us to cover. We also have a very active group on Facebook, so check out Bad Movies Rule on Facebook there. And then lastly, For as little as $3 a month, you can join our Patreon, where you'll have access to bonus recordings. You can vote in polls. You can interact with the show on there and talk about upcoming episodes. You'll know in advance what's coming out. You'll get some behind-the-scenes content. And then ultimately, for some of the people on Patreon, you can even participate in the show by submitting your awards to be read out during our awards section. So that's at patreon.com/badmoviesrule. All right, let's jump into the movie, guys.
Okay.
If you say so. That's why we're here.
Yes, to talk about this movie.
Yeah.
Real quick, just so everybody, I know there's like a text screen at the beginning. I'm not going to go through the whole text screen, but just to set the scene of what's happening here. Long story short, there's some Cosnick? Long story
Kevin Cosnick?
Kevin Cosnick was not.
He was in a different movie.
That was Kevin Costner's Jewish uncle.
Yes.
Although that was very similar to this film.
Yes.
After some cosmic battle, yada, 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 water is in short supply, like every movie we talk about. The Templars of the planet Mithra, I think is what it was.
Yeah.
They hoard the water, so they're the most powerful people in the galaxy. Other people turn to piracy to get the blocks of ice they ship. That's the only way. Water is money, basically. Got it, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Space Tank Girl.
So they can...
Space Tank Girl.
Yeah, basically. So they can fly spaceships and go through warps.
Yep.
But they can't make water?
No, they can't
out
make
of
water.
Just basic?
Like,
Their power is now absolute.
you mean
except
like
for the
condensation and
Yeah,
steam
rebel
and,
pirates.
and all that? No.
I mean, yeah, Mark did it in... that Mars movie?
Oh, yeah. You mean Matt Damon?
Matt Damon.
You thought Mark Wahlberg was in that?
Mad Damon.
Can we go back? Can we back that up and can we edit that
If
out?
Kevin Costnick is staying in, then your Mark comment is staying in.
We know movies, folks.
We are. We literally start every episode by saying
I'm
we're the
gonna-
worst movie podcast ever.
I'm done.
All right. Space Tank Girl. Here we go. So the first scene of the movie is a space raid of an ice freighter, right? There's one of these. Well, there's many. There's like hundreds of these.
Sure.
Like ice freighters
I'll take your
shipping
word for
ice
it.
all over the place. I did laugh almost immediately. The first thing we see is so the main guys are Jason and Roscoe, right? Robert
Yeah.
Urich and Michael Roberts. And one of them, I think it's Roscoe, is looking through binoculars, what's supposed to be a window. And it's clearly
that's Jason.
clearly a TV
Is that Jason?
Yeah,
It's clearly a TV screen.
Roscoe's working on the
robots.
droids.
He's like looking at binoculars, like if you were looking straight into a wall through binoculars
Yes.
into what's supposed to be the
Yeah,
window
I thought
of the
he was
spaceship.
watching Gelga. I was like, is he just watching somebody play Gelga right now?
No. He's literally looking out the window and sees all these freighters, and so they pick one out. Like, all right, this is the one. We're going to steal the ice from this one. And they
Yeah, because Roscoe's working on the robot assembly line where they're all kind of hanging, and there's a lot going on.
Because everywhere they go, they bring these robots, and so I want to ask you guys about this now. What do you guys think of these robots in this movie?
Waste of time.
I thought they were awful.
They served really no major purpose. I mean, you got to give the credit to the designers to make all these things.
Right.
But other than that,
Someone pulled up remember in Apollo 13 where they poured out that box of stuff on the table?
yes,
Right? And they're like,
we
all
need
right,
to make this fit into this.
except they're like, all right, we have $10. You've got to make 20 robots
Yeah.
Out of this pile stuff.
pile of stuff.
Yeah.
See, I thought this was a poignant take on technology and our reliance on it
Shut
today.
up.
You're right.
It's supposed to make our life easier.
You're right.
And really, did it make their life easier?
It didn't.
at all.
I think this movie's really trying to say something.
And
though.
helped
is.
write some really great gags.
That's right. I love how basically they all were just like wearing spray painted gray work gloves. Like it was clearly like
Yeah.
fabric hands. A lot of it was fabric.
Well, and the running gag where Roscoe has to keep fixing their neck program, like it's the wrong program. Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
And then they're and it does like the whole head twitch, and then the one's got a gimp now.
They kind of looked like the robot from Pee Wee's Playhouse a little bit.
Oh yeah, Conky.
Conky.
Sure.
They kind of had that feel to it.
Gee, Pee-wee.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking the whole time. I'm watching.
Man, I wish.
That would have been great.
Is there a secret word today? We all know what to do when somebody says a secret word, right?
What's that?
Scream real loud.
All right, so
I'd much rather be watching that right now.
the robots in this movie suck. Okay, we all agree on that.
The secret word is Templar.
That's okay. So the first thing I noticed, because right after this, they get the little miniature models to fly the ship down onto the freighter. Okay.
Yeah.
And something Star Wars did really well was making sure that it didn't look like they were tiny little models, but here it was like you could see it say like made in Taiwan on the side of the thing. They're
little micro machines.
That's right. And the first time the score kicks on, this overused score that they use throughout the entire movie, and there's like this big, it sounded like 78 trombones from Music Man or something, right? They're like, anytime they did anything, clang,
Yeah.
Clang.
I was trying to like
It's like marching band music.
Yeah, I was like trying to like figure out what type of movie this thing was. So it's like it's like a combination of Spaceballs, Robin Hood Men in Tights, and like Pirates of the Caribbean, all like wrapped into one.
Yes, this movie had everything. A sci-fi space movie?
Yeah.
Check. Swashbuckling pirate adventure?
Check.
Ye Old Knight's Tale?
Yeah, check.
Okay.
Western Space Cowboys? Check. Men in leotards? Check. It's all there.
Space herpes.
I'm glad. All right, hold on.
Oh, I don't want to get into that too early.
Yeah.
Moment of silence.
Nobody wants to get into that too early.
I'm glad you brought that up, because the tone of this movie for both of you, yes, they were trying to be Spaceballs and Men in Tights, except there was not one good joke in the entire movie.
No.
And they also didn't know what the hell they wanted to be. There's knights and there's pirates and French-made costumes and
It's like the world's worst PC
Roman
stand-up joke.
princesses.
like a Grecian
Greek
goddess
princess,
or whatever. Like, and it's like someone just like, okay, we have no money. They open the costume trunk and they're like, find what we can get out of here.
We have some stuff from Never Ending Story. We got some stuff from Bonsai Buckaroo. We got some stuff. Yeah, we'll just kind of throw it all together.
But why are there space knights in
And the thing is, there's space knights that are dressed up like completely normal knights.
That's what I'm saying.
With
They're
swords.
With swords.
With samurai swords, of all things.
It really is. I know we like to joke, but it really is like they just raided the costume room.
They did.
And just said, guys, we have no money. Just find what we have already.
A rabbi, a pirate, and a knight walk into a space bar.
You know what sometimes they depict? I think they did this in Pee-wee and like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, when they go into the back lot of movie studios and they make it seem like at movie studios everyone is just randomly walking around in these different costumes and stuff. It's like that, but they just literally did it in this movie, right? They're like, go into the Warner Brothers back lot, or I don't remember who made this movie, and just see what they have, and then just come on in.
I felt like it was like the 80s scene of that Dragon movie that we watched with
The Last
Leroy
Dragon.
Green. And,
That's right.
When they all came into the theater, and there's like, guy with the boombox, and then there's like some like Asian ninja and
construction worker guy.
Yeah, so it's just like a Bad Village People movie.
Exactly. It was all of those things put together. And so they break through they basically are going to raid the ship, and they land on, they cut through the door. There's a dumb
Oh,
joke.
yeah, with the laser peephole maker?
Yeah.
Into the bathroom.
And that's one of the problems with this movie. They could have done that a lot quicker and a lot more efficient, but no, they drag this laser gag to just cut a door.
Well, you say gag, and I think that's what I think they think they're setting up this hilarious thing.
Yeah.
And it's just not funny.
Well, yeah, when he bumps him with the gun, the laser gun, and he like gives him the look, and you're like, I don't. Is that supposed to be funny? Like you knocked him with the gun, and then he,
Remember when he knocked him with the gun?
we got a laugh track? That's awesome.
We have a laugh track on this?
Yes.
Nice.
When have we ever used that?
We don't.
I don't have to-
I was saving it for a really good comedy, and this is why I'm busting it out for this.
I don't even have to be here. Just for this part, just put a laugh track in.
All right, so they bust through, and Scrotum Alien or whatever it was.
Chicken Lady,
Chicken
that's what I
Lady,
was calling
Chicken
it.
Lady
Chicken Lady,
is on the toilet, and I'm like, oh, what a hilarious joke. But as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay.
Well, and then they
Check.
do that's the next joke where each one's like, you take care of him, you take care of him,
Right.
you take care of him, you take care of him. And then finally the last guy's like, all right.
Hellboy.
Bonk.
Yeah.
Like knocks him in the head, and that was
Right.
it.
And so they now are doing this sneaking on the Death Star ripoff, thing where they've got the droids probing the hallways and they're trying to sneak around and not get spotted by the droids, and they do like the all-time movie trope, the let's hide in the ceiling when the bad guy comes around the corner to look. I mean, how many movies have you seen that in?
Yeah.
Where it comes around the corner and then they're just above them, like holding themselves up.
I've never seen that
in the
before.
ceiling. It's done in every single movie.
Oh, okay.
In every single adventure movie, like ever. At this point, you can call it when it's about to happen.
Yeah.
And it's like, just do literally anything else.
Well, it's like
Anything
either
else.
that or drop into the floor.
Drop into the floor.
Whatever. There's always a hidden somewhere where you're going to go.
At least
into
Star
a
Wars
hallway.
did that, right?
Yeah.
Hide behind the plant.
Hide behind the plants.
I just want to see like when you play hide and go seek with a 4-year-old, they just like
Right.
put their hands over their face, just like no, you can't see me.
Right. Or just,
Maybe that.
I don't know. I'd be amazed if the bad guy came around the corner and they just killed the droid. And like, instead of like, why do you have to hide in the ceiling? Just destroy the thing.
It reminded me of the robot that used to play Nintendo with you.
Yeah. Oh, what was that thing?
Robbie Robot,
Robbie,
maybe?
yeah,
I don't
Rob.
remember.
That's right.
Reminded me of my trash can.
Oh, man.
Your trash can's a robot?
So,
Man, I wish I made money at the shoe store.
they open this door and this French maid comes out and it's very confusing. And they basically find this princess in a sleep chamber. She's like misting or getting a steam bath or something.
Yeah,
was
the
cool,
Princess
though.
Karina
That was
of the
cool.
dry ice.
Whatever, the whole dry ice thing. I mean, she couldn't breathe, and hypoxia was setting in, but
Yeah,
that looked cool.
It looked really cool.
Was that supposed to be like a cryo freezer?
I think is what it was supposed to be, even though
And
like
then he ruined it.
By
he's
opening
a
it.
major creeper in this
Yeah.
scene.
Well, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, he had a flashback to his nights working in the morgue.
he
He was ready for some action.
Within 2 seconds, he's about to lift up the front of her dress to look down
Yeah.
at her dress.
Yeah.
And then he gets interrupted. And then he's like upset that they don't get to rape her.
Yeah, he goes, whatever happened to rape and pillage.
Right.
Man,
That was a great joke.
what movie is
It's
this
hilarious.
again? Damn it.
Honestly, it's like, what a horrible way to establish the main character. It's supposed to be the hero, the guy that we're cheering for. And the way you're going to introduce him is that he's disappointed. So much to the fact that Roscoe comes in and goes, "You promised you wouldn't do this again."
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
I'm like,
gosh.
this specifically?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or just stealing princesses.
This happened
Like,
before.
That's what I was saying.
this is your thing?
This is your thing.
Yeah. And then he's like, well, we could use her for leverage against, or
Like
what's.
a doorstop.
Yeah.
Right. Which is not clearly what he wanted, because right after that, he like throws a pouty like temper tantrum. Is like, what happened to we rape, we pillage?
Yeah. And he's like,
Like,
"Ugh."
bro.
So he talks to the nanny and he's like, you tell that princess when she wakes up that I was the best lay of her life.
Right. I don't even want her anymore.
Yeah. We got ice to steal. What's the name of this movie again?
Ice Pirate.
Ice baby.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
It's called Cool as Ice Pirates.
Yeah.
Clint would have been here for that.
He would
one.
have. He would have.
Oh, is that Star Vanilla Ice?
that chick that sleeps in the tube.
Best Vanilla Ice
That's right.
impression ever.
Ever.
Yeah, girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another funny thing that happens throughout this movie is, and I don't normally I would
Funny?
care about spoiling plots, but I don't really for Ice Pirates.
Go ahead. I don't care.
The whole point of the movie is that we find out they're looking for Earth. Okay,
Well, yeah, it was like a myth.
they're trying to find
Yeah.
the seventh planet.
Yeah.
Right? But it turns out it's Earth.
Yeah.
Okay, and so in this world, none of
Because
them have
Earth
ever
has water.
been to or known about Earth.
No.
except there's Earth things everywhere.
Where? Sure.
Like they walk into this ice chamber and there is a dude, a knight, climbing a ladder like from Home Depot.
Oh, yeah.
Did you
Well,
guys
it's
see
nice to
that?
know that extension ladder technology has not changed into the dystopian future.
It's ridiculous. I'm like, dude, I have that literally that
I love
ladder
that
in my
that
garage.
knight knows how to use it, too. They don't have elevators then?
No, and I don't even know how to
Nice.
get the ladder to stay on the first try. And this guy just popped it up there.
Well, and you're not supposed to overextend it.
So not only
And
that,
he went too far.
he's a roofer too.
Yeah.
and not just
He was just carrying some shingles up there.
Where is OSHA when you need him?
Yeah. Well, he had some 3 points of contact. So
Oh, yeah.
you know.
Well, then you don't
No
see him
harness.
after
no,
that.
no harness.
No safety belt.
he had a sword.
He had a sword.
Because
Yeah.
this is when Jason
That's-
ends up swinging through the window of the
Yes.
of the main base.
That's-
I don't even know what to call
Guard shack or
it. Yeah,
something.
guard
That's
shack.
personal.
Guard shack, baby.
Guard shack. Yeah.
Please don't.
All right, hold
For
on.
the sake of our listeners, please don't.
We're still on the first scene. All right, so they steal the princess and play space chicken. Basically,
And when?
they get a little bit of the ice. On their way out, they have got to break into, to escape the people.
Break ice. Got it.
Space Pope comes in, and they're like, "Oh
Space
no!"
Pope?
Yeah, he was dressed like the Space Pope.
Oh yeah. I was
Yeah.
calling him Lord Farquaad.
He did kind of look. He was short like
Him
Farquaad.
and that Wish Calrissian.
So he's the supreme commander. Wish Calrissian. He's the supreme commander of the bag. We find out now he's on a different ship, but he's getting word that another ship is being raided, and so he's showing up to support. And he's the big bad guy. And it's John Carradine, which I don't know if you guys ever seen him in anything else.
I don't know.
But this guy's a
Not good
legendary
with names.
actor. He was in Stagecoach and a bunch of old John Ford movies. He was in The Grapes of Wrath, The 10 Commandments, like all these legendary Hollywood movies. He's David Carradine's dad, the guy from Kung Fu.
Yep.
Oh.
House of
Yes.
Frankenstein, The 10 Commandments, House of Dracula, Monster Club.
Yeah, he's in all those old monster movies.
Yeah.
He had a pretty good voice for that
Yeah.
kind of. So
And so
he seemed very villainous.
Jesse James.
Bill in Kill Bill, this was his dad. Okay. This is the man. And I was shocked when he walked into the movie. And he was.
So was he.
He seemed to be unaware of what was happening. But anyway, so Space Pope shows up, or Lord Farquaad comes in, and they are now chasing Jason, and their ship has to split into three pieces, so that there's 2/3 of them are going to get away, and they ultimately end up chasing Jason's section of the ship.
Yeah.
And they end up playing Space Chicken. And I was like, because we just did Last Action Hero, I was like, this is perfect. It's just like Jack Slater, right?
Sure.
They did the Space Chicken thing, and at the last second, the bad guys peel off. But that ultimately meant nothing, too, because they just literally, turned around.
Yeah, that's
and
maybe a
kept
thing of the
chasing
80s.
them.
Chicken was like a big thing.
Right.
I mean, they did it in with Jack Burton and
was the white
Big
meat.
Trouble in
That's
Little
true.
China.
It was the white meat.
The white
The
meat.
white meat.
Yeah.
The chicken.
Oh, the chicken.
Got it.
They really pushed chicken back in the 80s.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I got it. They do. The other
Healthy
white
protein.
meat.
Before Jason had jumped on his ship, he did go back and grab the catatonic Grecian princess and decided to steal her anyway, right?
Yeah.
And so it's important to know she's on the ship. But ultimately, Space Pope jumps on.
Doesn't even care.
No, they don't care. They're just
They
shooting at
just
him.
shoot at the ship anyway.
Gets on board, gets the princess back, and now has arrested Jason and Roscoe and put them in space jail,
Space jail.
which looks pretty horrible.
Yeah.
It's like these just-
For
It's clean shaven.
our favorite trope.
What's that?
Something worse than death.
Watching movies, bad movies.
No, instead of just killing the
Instead of
characters.
killing the characters, they could have just been done with them. But no, they have a fate worse than death.
That's right. We're gonna go through this elaborate scheme.
Yes.
That's so much worse. Can I just
We're going to
ask,
lock you up in a
pretty
box
hilarious.
and castrate you.
why? Yeah, why is that this group of bad guys, the Templars? Why is it their go-to move?
Would you
They
want it to
turn them
happen to you?
into space slaves.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
they just lobotomize and castrate people, and they're super cash about it.
Yeah. A little snug.
I love the people on the assembly line.
That's what I'm saying. They're all super casual.
They're just talking about the random date that they're having and everything like that.
right,
And
like they're working in a factory.
Yeah.
on the
I
line.
thought it was a Laverne and Shirley
They're
callback.
they're just sawing people's clothes off.
Yeah.
They're
They got old man jittery shave.
shaky shave.
Yeah, shaky shave.
and they try to get people to stop, but they're just like, haha, no.
Well, and the one guy's calling for them to unionize.
Yeah.
Shut off your machines.
Power to the people.
Yeah.
The Walking Dead. Had
40-hour
something
work
like this.
week.
The Walking Dead did?
When Terminus, they kind of did the same thing where they were trapping people, obviously, to eat them and such.
Yeah.
But they had the workers just like cleaning the things and just having a normal conversation.
yeah, that's right.
As these guys are sitting there ready about to die.
It's a
and they're
little
just having
creepy.
a normal conversation.
Yeah.
It was creepy.
Well, and even on his
wasn't fun.
way to be castrated, Jason's like hitting on those two girls.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, what are you doing later?" They're like, "You're not gonna care."
Cutting your nuts off.
And like, I'm not a doctor, but I feel like the way that they are going to castrate these guys is kind of indelicate.
The trap jaw.
I think it would have been better if the Black & Decker hedge trimmer, that they used to cut the clothes off.
Right, which clearly was not even turned on.
Yeah, that's not even turned on or even touching.
Yeah.
There's kind of motion in it. Like just
How'd you like to be that guy in the
air.
background? They had to make that jigga 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 sound.
The Foley artists on this
That's right.
really had their work cut out for them.
That's right.
Really had their mouth full.
Because they can only pay him $15, so
What?
that's why. That's what they got.
Huh?
But right as they're about to, like, they were literally, it's like Trapjaw from He-Man was going to just bite their nuts off.
Yeah.
Is that where Trapjaw came from?
Yeah.
That's what it was.
That's where
this
it
is the
started.
same year that it came out, too, in 1984.
Amazing.
So they come through, but they don't get their nuts chomped.
Yeah, the princess.
I
saved
was
them.
disappointed.
You thought, oh, wow, this is an interesting turn.
I thought the movie was going to be over at that point in time. Like, all right.
But the princess spares them and says, pretend like you actually got your nuts chomped, and I will tell you later why I saved you.
Yeah.
And listen to everything I have to say. And so this is where I realized that they're selling these dudes like slaves.
Yeah.
Because the next scene is they put all of the eunuchs into these white leotards with like numbers and letters on them. Mm-hmm. But why do they put these white wigs on all of them and these white mustaches?
Dyed their hair white for some reason. I'm not quite sure.
To identify them as eunuchs? I don't know.
Did they dye their hair white or was it just wigs?
I don't know. I didn't see that part on the assembly
Because I
line.
feel like when they ran away, his hair was normal again after that.
Yeah.
So it makes me think they literally have like a
White
rack of
wigs on
wigs.
Well, I enjoyed, right? So there's the turntable where they're going on and she's testing all of them and then putting them in front of the window for selling.
Yes.
I wanted to see a bad one, like her to be like, no. And then, because if you notice that turntable, there's another door.
Oh.
So it almost is like, this one's
I
no
didn't
good.
notice.
It's got to go back. You know what I mean?
And get recastrated?
I don't know. That's what I wanted to kind of see that part. Like,
Could you touch this up a bit?
This one.
Could you touch this one's still got some brown hair showing through its wig. Could you maybe send it back?
That would have been awesome. But instead,
Expiration date on that one.
they just decided to make some horrible jokes. I
Yeah.
mean, it's literally, it's just like,
There's no purpose of any of this.
no, they like, she guys, and give me the black one because it'll go with the wallpaper. Like, okay.
Who has a black wallpaper?
But I think they think these are their jokes in the movie.
Yeah.
It's like they had this serious movie they were going to make, and they lost all this money. Like, okay, we have to make it funny, but then they didn't write any jokes. They're just like, let's
The
just
person writing the jokes didn't understand what a joke was.
right or that, because it was really. I'm like, I think there's so many times in the movie. I'm like, I think that was supposed to be a joke, but it just wasn't. It wasn't good.
Well, even Batman, at least, as him being a writer from that show, that was funnier than
Yeah,
this show was.
for sure.
Yeah. And it kind of makes you wonder, like, what happened?
How much got cut?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it could have
Was
been.
there
a number
were
of
there
things.
more jokes, or was it just this is what we need to make it done?
There's a lot of sight gags, or they were trying at sight gags. I don't know if there was a lot of like dialogue, like jokes that were literally written to be spoken. Like the chicken lady on the toilet's more of a sight gag.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, we'll see more as we go through.
Well,
it.
and even the chompers for castration.
Right, it's supposed to
that's
be a sight gag.
That's really not going to do its thing.
No.
Other than
least not
mutilating
well.
it. Yeah, at least not well.
Well, they got to use more costumes from the crate because right after this we go to the Arab acrobats at a masquerade ball.
Right.
Yes.
Because as you do in space, and they're just now Jason and Roscoe are in their slave outfits and they're walking around with drinks at the princess's party.
Yeah. It's like if
Yeah, and Roscoe's taking sips of them.
Yeah, it's like what?
Labyrinth met Star Wars.
Yeah, that's a great
that whole,
pull.
like David Bowie's little magical ball.
It was exactly like that.
but yet it's on the Cantina ship. And Return of the Jedi.
From Return, yes, that's a perfect.
I'm trying to paint the
description.
picture here,
That's
guys.
exactly how it is, and you're painting it well.
But you need water to make drinks, don't you? I don't understand this whole.
Well, they
premise.
have all the water,
have-
I think, right?
They have everything.
They have all of it.
I see.
They're the ones
these are
with
the,
the
one that
water.
have water. I see.
Yeah.
Did you catch the literal sense of getting high?
Oh yeah, you mean when you electrocute your face and then float
you
away?
literally float up to the ceiling. It's like, well, we need to put some drug references
Yes.
in here.
What a clever gag.
Yeah, we're gonna make them high. Wait a minute. While they're high, going, what if we just have them float off the ground as they're high?
Right.
Oh my God, it'd be the greatest joke in the world.
That's right. They'll literally get high,
Yeah.
like altitude.
in space.
This makes so much more sense. Everybody was just I hate to use this trope, and I feel like Clint over here, but I think everybody was completely high while writing this.
Yes. I think you're probably right, Joe. That's the thing.
Because I've had conversations with people, when they're just getting blitzed and they think that this idea they had is going to be the greatest in the world.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not. It's the worst. And you're just like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, yeah.
The next day, it's never funny.
It's never good.
Two things. One,
that's what happened on this.
I think it's funny that she takes off the device that makes her high and puts it on the tray. So does that just like somebody just picks it up and tries it out?
It's
like
a one-time use.
It's a one-time use.
Yeah. It's for sterile reasons.
And then the second,
it's like a needle.
I want to know how they come down. Do they gradually float down, or does this gravity finally take over and you're like, bam?
Just like with regular drugs, you crash.
You just crash hard.
Yeah.
You just crash.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Literally.
literally crashed. I just want to see one drop in the background. Because you just like threw a table of drinks and stuff. And just
the cake goes flying. That always has to happen in the movies.
Oh, man.
Somebody lands on a punch bowl.
Right?
Yep.
Farquaad comes into the room and he talks to the princess and he's like, well, I see that you've got your pirates as slaves now. And she's like, oh, yes, I couldn't resist. And then does this bad guy, or not really a bad guy thing, a poor script writing thing where he just knows they're going to leave. Right? Like she sees him talking. They just talked about how they're her slaves
foreshadowing.
now. Right? Like, and she yells up to, Farquaad yells up to her, princess! Like he knows she's about to try and escape with them. Yeah. Why? They're just walking around this party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no reason for him to know. But because they needed him to know for the script, because they don't know how to do what they're doing.
He's the mastermind.
We start into he's the mastermind.
He knows everything.
He is Space Pope.
Right.
Yeah.
He is Space Pope.
Space Pope!
Every time.
At this moment, I wanted a Space Pope symbol, like the bat symbol that just comes forward and
Oh, yes.
So they
Space Pope
immediately get into this horrible chase sequence, one of the worst chase sequences ever, because they start shooting at them because we know you're trying to escape somehow.
Yeah, they ripped off Megaforce, all of their equipment they just used from Megaforce.
Yes.
Yeah.
And and so they jump on the and oh, by the way, we forgot.
We forgot to do
rewind. When they were in space jail, we got so excited about castration.
Oh,
we skipped
Killjoy?
over Killjoy's introduction.
yeah.
Yes.
So while we yes, it was Sloth.
It was Sloth, man.
Yes. John Matusak, the guy that played Sloth in Goonies, plays Killjoy, and this is what did Goonies come on? 85, I think, or 86.
86, I thought.
So this was probably right before Goonies.
Yep.
And he's another prisoner in space jail, and he gets out of being castrated by pretending to be a clergy member.
Yeah.
Because they don't castrate clergy just in case God is real. They don't want to piss off God. This is what they say in the movie. And then he kind of, befriends them in space jail and then takes off, and he doesn't show back up again until this Arab acrobat. It's a space party.
Well, and the one gag from his introduction I feel worked.
Yeah.
The one with the stealing of the gold necklace.
You like that?
I did. I chuckled.
Yeah, okay.
That was pretty because good. I thought it was kind of funny that he like, I don't know who has it. Why don't you search everybody? And Roscoe's going, I think there's a lot of people here. I don't really think you need to search everybody because he ends up giving it to him.
Yeah.
So there was a little bit of a good joke there.
All right, you're more generous than I am.
He was my one and only favorite character.
It was Killjoy?
Yeah.
Well,
foreshadowing for my my
top
picks.
3.
Yeah.
Killjoy shows back up at this party, and so right as they're about to escape, he kind of tags along with them.
Yeah, he's
so it's
dressed as
important
a
that we
knight,
know that
right?
he's dressed up as a knight.
Well, he's
trying to
impersonating as a
robot. Right.
Yeah, right. But again, they had a knight costume, so they're like, we're going to use it.
Yeah.
Throw it on him. And the reason this chase sequence is so terrible is because it's just, for one, they just basically go in a straight line the whole time. It's like they're constantly using fast forward, like from a director's standpoint. It's like, we didn't shoot this in an interesting way or with any kind of excitement or speed, and so it's just literally going to
it's a Benny Hill
do it in fast
Benny
forward
Hill little
thing.
trope, where they just put everything in fast forward and think it's going to be funny.
It's not funny though.
Is this
It's just
also where the
But it's not
droid
funny.
with the bow tie is going around serving and helping people?
no,
or
that's
is that-
later.
That's later.
That's
okay.
later.
Yeah.
That
But-
part makes me laugh every time. That's a sight gag that I was like, that's kind of
The fact they threw a bow tie on a robot.
because he's fancy now. He's a well dressed robot.
so
I know.
dumb.
I know this early, but yes, I do like it. But I only like it for one reason. He keeps doing this.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Keeps fixing the
Fixing
bow
his
tie.
bow tie.
Yes.
I know
That's
that
what I
for
mean.
people,
He felt fancy. He was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm distinguished. I'm
Little-
a distinguished droid."
All right. Anyways,
Anyway, we are about to meet another robot, which is the pimp bot. Was awesome.
that's
You thought that the only thing you said positive,
I forgot about that.
and you're like, "This was awesome."
Yeah.
Yes.
Was it some guy in the? This is the dude that didn't get to sit at the table in the writers' room. He was the guy sitting on the chairs around the room.
Yeah.
Was like, "I've got an idea.
Well, he had
What if there's a pimp, but it's a robot?"
he had
Oh,
better
man.
facial expressions than Jason?
that's true.
He's like, "Sup, blood?
What's up?
This is my bad chariot." It's the most cliche pimp performance, and it's a robot.
Yeah.
So this is basically. I'm going to paint the picture. This is like
Please do.
Total Recall meets 48 Hours.
Yes, yes. It's the
I got a
it's
ton
the-
of them, man.
The taxi driver.
I'm going to paint this picture all day long.
It was the taxi driver from the Mars taxi
Yep.
driver, not the robot Johnny Robot.
No, no,
Johnny
no.
Taxi, whatever. But the other one, yes, and that's a perfect description, Joe. Nice job.
I'm trying.
And he's like, "You want to see some boobies?"
And he's like, oh,
He's like, "Well," he's like, but they end up going with him because he had
they said,
transportation.
yeah, we'll give you transportation and the boobies.
Right. And so they're like, "Oh, transportation." It's just a way to get away, basically. And so we only get, unfortunately, like 30 seconds of Pimp Bot, and he's never back again in the rest of
Oh,
the
that's
movie.
a shame.
Mel's favorite character, gone forever.
Definitely my top 3.
All right. So ultimately, they get onto a ship and they're able to escape. And this is where I hate to even say this with this movie, that the plot goes into motion because there's like plot. I know, but basically, this is what plot there is. What plot there is starts to happen here.
I guess as far as I would consider plot is more like a burial.
Yeah, it's
Like,
a burial plot.
That's the kind of plot.
Yeah.
they
Oh,
needed at
I
this point.
get it.
Just
Yeah,
throw it in.
burial
Just throw it in
plot.
there.
That's
Right.
funny.
Cover it with dirt.
Do you mind?
That's-
No, the crickets.
Oh, you want this?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Burial.
All right.
He's
So-
just mad because he
a
got
reach.
crickets first.
All right. So ultimately, what the princess tells the pirate, now they've got control of the ship and they're out of there. And he goes, "All right, I want to go to Pirate Planet or whatever the hell it's called,
Pirate Bay.
Pirate Bay, and we got to find Lanky Nibs. This is a real name in this. Everything I'm saying is true.
Lanky nibs.
Okay, Lanky Nibs. She's got to go find Lanky Nibs at the Pirate Planet. Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice, Space Pope goes into some hospital room to talk to this guy who we don't know who they are, and we never see again for
never.
the rest
No,
of the
never
movie.
again.
I thought that was her dad. 'Cause,
Right.
It's like, who is this guy or why is he here?
They never explain it.
No.
And it's really the whole scene is just so they can mustache twirl and say, "Yeah, we planned this the entire time." Right?
Yeah.
Who the hell is this guy?
He was the old guy from Squid Game.
This is the kind of stuff that drives me nuts. They who are you? Why are you here? And then we never go back again. And it's all to say she escaped with them just like we planned. Like, how would you plan that?
He's just some old overseer, maybe. That's the
Was he supposed to be like the guy from Star Wars? Help me out. I'm totally drawing a
we're
blank.
both like drawing blank. I think we go to like
I don't know.
Who's Darth Vader's the emperor?
Really?
Palpatine.
Really?
The emperor, right?
Yes, Palpatine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you,
it took me a
Palpatine.
second.
That's what I was trying to think. Sorry. Give me some more crickets. Okay, I'll take that
All right, guys. All right. At this
come on.
point, the plot is really humming.
man, it's
It's
working
really
out.
humming because we know,
know what's gonna
where
be
we're
funny?
going. We know what's supposed to be
Yeah.
there, and what would be really great in this moment of the movie. What would it be?
An egg.
That's right. Let's take a 5-minute break to make a joke about space herpes.
Yeah, Space herpes. Let's get it, boys.
You know, it reminds me of my first time getting space herpes. It's amazing with some Tylenol and a little bit of Best.
I just started
penicillin.
thinking about those commercials for medication. Like, I didn't let space herpes keep me from having the life I wanted to have.
Got the biggest smile.
And he's like riding a bicycle through the boardwalk of some, and he's like,
Space Town.
right.
I think it's space. Put space in front of it.
What if it was Pipbot?
Oh my gosh.
Hey, yo.
Slow me down.
That's my. Why the hell is this a thing in this movie?
Well,
There's no reason for it.
Running gags on it.
Well, it's relatable.
Right, but it ultimately goes nowhere.
Absolutely.
They
Yeah,
never
I agree
resolve
with
it.
you. No.
It's never resolved.
Because you can't resolve herpes.
Other than
That's why.
other than when the robot smashes it, the one robot that they rebuilt, and he smashes that thing at the end. But
He just repressed it.
and he's like, "Oh, good job."
He just repressed the
It was
symptoms.
like it's still there. Sometimes you just don't see it.
Exactly.
Talk to your doctor.
That's right.
If you
About
experience any side
That's right.
effects.
May
Some
cause
side effects may include
blurred vision, diarrhea,
bloody stool.
being hit over the head by a laser.
This is the stupidest thing that happens in this movie by far.
Are you
Out
sure?
of this entire movie.
Because it is. It is because they build it up over the course of 3 scenes. They go back to it 3 times. This is the first scene, and then it's like they build it up to be this big thing, and then there's like a anticlimactic ending to it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah,
Right.
I hate when they don't climax on space herpes.
I agree. That was a good one. All right. Now, basically what happens, I know we're all over
We're all
the
over.
place here.
This movie is all over.
They
the
literally,
place.
an egg falls out of a closet. This is what happens.
They have a manifest
It's
for
like
it.
a
Who
baked,
brings
a baked potato.
I microwaved this too long.
That's what happens when you don't cook a baked potato all the way.
Yeah, you get the space herpes.
Right. And you don't know who else ate the baked potato before you.
That's
and
right.
then that's how you get space
There's no
herpes.
cheese on this.
who brings a space herpes egg?
Who doesn't?
Make sure this is on the ship.
doesn't?
Make sure this gets on the ship.
Yeah.
Before you leave,
You.
you get it in there.
Put it next to the mops.
Honestly,
And the dead body, was there a dead body in there too?
I'm pretty sure it was.
It was a body, some head on a stick.
All right, so they get to Pirate Planet after the space herpes, which explodes out of this baked potato, and it looks like a worm with like a face.
Yeah. I didn't know if they were just like making fun of Alien or
Yeah.
trying to spoof it.
Something.
Well, they did later with the turkey.
That's right, with the
I didn't
turkey.
want to jump ahead.
No, it's
but-
fine.
Oh no!
I don't
Please
want to
don't
ruin
it.
the.
You don't want to
Ruin
ruin the
plot.
space herpes jokes. They get to Pirate Planet. They find their old friends, Morticia Addams and Hellboy, and they're there. And this dude, Dogbite, starts eyeballing them.
Which foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hellboy loses his arm and then he's got the big arm.
That's right.
But then for that stupid hand joke where he gets his hand cut off, but then grows back.
Then it's back. Who knows?
I don't know. Whatever.
I mean,
But,
if you can deal with space herpes, you can deal with amputations.
That's right. But this, like I said, this dude, Dogbite, is there. He's got these stupid glasses with no lenses in them. And
Tries to like put up the lens and it's barely moving. It's like almost gonna break. He's just like try not to break it.
don't break this thing. It's plastic. Along with this other dude, Patch. So Patch and Dogbite are there at Pirate Planet, and they're just like
I wonder how he
eyeballing
got his
them.
name Patch.
I don't know. It could be the giant eye patch that takes up half of his face.
What?
I thought he had
got
a
an
tear
eye
in his
patch.
clothing at one point.
What's really funny to me is like everybody in this movie has these insane names like Dogbite and Patch and Roscoe,
Monkey Knuckle and
Bruce
Knuckle,
Flange.
whatever. And then and the main guy is just Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just gets to be Jason.
Just Bob.
Everybody else has these ridiculous names. But they're basically, fast forward, Jason has to seduce a frog woman to find Lanky Nibs.
More like a caterpillar.
The sentences I end up saying on the show. You're okay. Jason has to seduce a caterpillar to find Lanky
Yeah,
Nibs.
better.
Who knows where the space princess's father is? Okay, this is a movie that exists. Patch and Dogbite come over and start some nonsense, right? Patch wants to dance with the pretty princess lady, but Angelica Houston, Morticia Addams, is like, the lady said no.
Okay.
You know what? Oh, go ahead.
Let me paint the picture. I got another one.
Oh, okay.
This is like Alice in Wonderland
Okay.
was down in the sewers from Demolition Man.
Yeah, that's another.
Boom.
Another good one.
Boom.
It's another great
I am
one.
You know
on
what, though?
top of things
He
today.
had overheard the $2 million or 2 million ounce
Patch
bounty.
did, yes. And so that's probably why they were over there to
Yeah.
do. But they didn't. They initially went over and asked to dance with the princess.
I think that was
Well,
just
we know he couldn't
Yeah.
see it coming, so he had
Right.
to hear it out.
And so Dogbite and them. So anyway, Morticia Adams says the girl says no, and Patch yells Dogbite. Now Dogbite pulls out this sword and he starts showing off. And let me tell you, Dogbite has never lost to a table before in his life.
Never.
He destroys that table in about 3 seconds.
Yes, that table's garbage.
But then when he fights an actual person, he gets his head chopped off immediately.
Well,
Well, it's not
That's,
table tennis.
Morticia Adams destroys him in about 4 seconds.
Yes.
And Patch kind of, is forced to apologize.
the tables have turned.
That's right, literally.
oh, sometimes you just got to get ahead in life.
All right. So this is this is going to
decapitation
sound
joke.
ridiculous to say, but this is literally what happens. Jason, the space princess, Percy the robot butler, and Frog Lady drive their Pinewood Derby car to to Burning Man
Yes,
like the day
yes.
after.
Yes. Now you're painting the picture perfect.
Okay.
You nailed it.
That's kind of like it looked like the day after Burning Man.
Yep.
And to go find Lanky Nibs. And it was like a giant Pinewood Derby car.
It was.
It's exactly what it was.
That's 100%.
With like a little like satellite dish on
Yeah,
it.
and then
Yes.
there's like a cabbage patch head people.
Yeah.
Obviously some sort of race because the two of them were talking at the table when Jason sent the princess over to hit on him,
Right.
thinking it was a him, and then it was a her.
I think it's a caterpillar.
Is that what that is?
That was a frog.
That was a
'cause
frog.
They had a tongue.
Oh, it
that
said
stuck
ribbit,
out,
and then she did say ribbit at one point.
And then rub it.
Yeah, so the whole time they're driving, she's like, "Do you like my dress or my blouse or whatever?" And I'm like, I can't even do the voice, but it sounded like
no, you got
like
it.
Harvey Firestein.
Do you think green's my color?
You know what I mean?
Oh, hello. It's good to see you.
Exactly, exactly. They
Gonna need a mop.
They pick up some random donkeys that, for no reason, will feature heavily in every scene
Yes.
for the rest of the movie.
And the little pygmy pigs.
For
or
no
goats
reason.
Or whatever they were, yeah.
We don't see bedroom hospital guy again for the
Nope,
rest of the
nope,
movie.
never.
But these donkeys are going to be in every scene.
Yeah.
Inexplicably.
yeah.
Oh. I mean, it was on
The
their
animal
checklist.
wrangler was in bed with the director. That dude was definitely he was doing some favors.
And they never even show them. They're just like, oh, there's some donkeys. And then the next
Yeah.
time, then they're on the spaceship.
Because there wasn't enough asses in this movie.
There wasn't. There wasn't. They
It's
needed
also
more.
a butt joke.
No, jeez, look at you. Look at you.
Thank you. Yes.
How does that feel?
I love it. Doesn't bother me.
All right. So
I prefer the Wawas personally.
Lanky Nibs is, they find him, but he's old now.
Yeah.
And he hits him with that sweet, delicious Expo dump.
Sweet. I was eating it up.
Expo dump.
He's like, he's taking an Expo dump like Chicken Lady in the beginning of this movie.
This is an expo dump. Not for you. Yeah.
And basically, he's like, your father found the seventh world and he knows how to get through the time warp. That's why I look much older, because I lost 20 years and 20 seconds. And your father is being held in the Tri system by, what's the guy's name?
Bruce Valanche.
Wendell? Yeah, Bruce Valanche.
Yeah, you know you got a good movie when you got the head of Bruce Valanche throughout the movie.
And
Bruce Campbell was in it.
so he's being held by Wendell in the Tri system. It's all gobbledygook nonsense, right? But
Yeah.
this is the next Expo dump that they needed in order to get to the next scene, essentially. So now they've got their here we go, we're going to get him. But before they can do that, bounty hunters show up
Yeah.
at
As
Burning
is
Man. Right. It's Patch and then a bunch of nobodies.
Space Viking pirate.
Yeah. I thought it was the coolest vehicle out of all of the ones that have been in the movie.
It was like a big,
which is a low
giant-
bar to clear,
yeah, big giant big wheel.
You know what-
right.
you know what that was?
exactly
Just-
was. Yeah.
All that was somebody came in to the writer's room and said, "Hey, I saw this great movie, Mad Max."
Yes.
And that was it. Like, they didn't tell them about the movie. And they're like, "Yeah, we should do this."
That's right. That's exactly what they did. And they kill Frog Lady immediately.
Yeah.
which makes sense.
Which doesn't hurt the vehicle.
Which was just so the writer's like, just so we don't have to have him screw this frog lady.
Yeah. Nobody wants to see some tadpoles.
She blew up, and Jason was like, "Oh, thank God."
Yes. We were all cheering at that moment.
I feel bad for that person for the table read.
Yeah,
It's like she thought she was going to be like, yeah, I'm going to have this sex scene with
That's
the
right.
main actor. Nope.
no, he's like, "No, we need to talk like Harvey Fierstein and just talk about your green
gonna get
dress
offed.
blouse. You get offed
By
immediately."
a skull tricycle.
But Jason makes this insane move to get on top of the thing.
Oh, yeah. Hooks onto the wheel, flips
Yeah.
himself up, does a little hippie flip.
It was kind of cool.
It wasn't bad, but then when he gets up there, he just kind of casually pushes everybody off of the car.
He's that strong. Those guys are, what's going on over here?
Gush, gush, gush. I found this
I was waiting to see him fall into a sand hole and just get eaten by a big worm.
by a Sarlacc pit because
Yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah,
blatantly ripping off Star Wars at this
I
point.
thought it would have been great.
They used footage from Return of the Jedi. Why is Boba Fett getting eaten by this thing?
Palpatine's here.
It made me realize that very
That's
little
his name.
very little fighting is ever done in this movie.
No.
They make the robots do 90% of the fighting. While they stand there and go, fight, fight,
Yeah.
fight.
I mean, he's got a mean push. In the beginning
Right.
of the movie, he pushes that one robot over like nothing.
Right. And then this point, he doesn't fight these guys. He just pushes them all.
Just gives a
and then
little
later
love
on,
tap.
it's a lot of push. Do they not have a fight choreographer? And they literally just would just push people around? And that was all the choreography for the whole movie?
This was groundbreaking fight photography.
It was
Choreography.
The photography was horrible, but the choreography was groundbreaking. Absolutely. It was really stupid. So
Yes.
perfect for the movie, basically.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So we're on the final push. They get back to the ship, and things are just starting to unravel in this movie, guys. Roscoe is now dressed like a colonel in the Continental Army during the Revolutionary War.
Again, that costume trunk just came available. Hey, we got this from.
Robots are cooking meals for a family of donkeys in space.
Yeah.
Hellboy makes a turkey with space herpes in it.
yep.
The things are literally starting to unravel. I'm watching it. I'm like throwing my hands up in the air, and I'm like,
What's next?
Why not?
What is next? They're literally just throwing everything now.
It's like the
But
scene,
wait, kids.
Whatever can stick at the wall.
There's
Yes,
more.
That's right. Exactly.
it's like the scene from Aliens when they're all sitting around the table.
Yeah.
You know, and that right before the chest burst scene,
Mm-hmm.
but yet it's a Butterball commercial with Spacer.
That's right.
So it's
And he's super proud
Butter
of how,
herpes.
Ron Perlman's like, I used my mother's recipe. He's super proud of it. And this, like, I don't know what to call it
It's
other
a-
than like
it's a wormy-
space penis with teeth.
it's
Kind of what it looks
Fair
like.
enough.
Yeah.
Comes out, and everybody freaks
I
out.
like the little hand puppet movements you're doing.
Hello, my ragtown gal.
Well, and everyone's furious with
Yeah.
them. You knew we had space herpes, and you didn't tell me.
Yeah, this
played
is
it-
when all the space
oh, yeah.
herpes
They played it
jokes
like
start.
exactly.
That's where the joke comes in. That's where the payoff of the
But it
joke
doesn't
comes
hit.
in.
It doesn't hit.
No, it doesn't hit.
But you can see what they're trying to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
The girl is mad that he didn't tell her that
That
they
he
had space herpes.
Yeah.
Right.
But see, that's
Isn't that
actually a good
hilarious?
joke,
Oh my gosh. Laughing. They got all of it.
STDs are always funny.
Chimney Christmas.
I thought it was worse that Roscoe was the only one that got bit. So what's that saying?
Did he? He did get
Yeah,
bit.
he's
On
the
his
only one that
back
got
or
bit. Yeah.
shoulder. Or,
Fine.
So apparently,
Yeah.
only Roscoe gets space herpes. Don't sleep with Roscoe.
They okay, so hold on. Because they're going to find Wendell in the tri-system because that's what the Expo dump guy told them to do.
Yeah.
They land on this soundstage
It's not
Yeah.
Mr. Wendell.
with like fog machines and literally white sheets that are just hung up around
Yep.
in the background. You can literally see
The seams.
the seams of the white sheets hung up. And these Amazonian women on unicorns attack them.
Yes.
This is my
I'm not making this up,
Not gonna lie,
guys.
this is my favorite part.
They go.
The
They-
horn.
They go. I can't even do this with a straight face. These Amazonian women on unicorns take them to go see the guy from Don't Mess with the Zohan.
Yes.
Yes.
but after the unicorn head rams a dude in the chest.
Yeah.
A dispensable guy number 4.
Right.
Yeah.
A guy that's never been a part of their crew
No.
shows up for this scene so there's someone to kill.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Unicorn
To the chest.
straight to the chest.
I wish it was Ron Perlman.
It's like it's this is gonna be this one's a stretch here. It's like Legend.
Yeah,
the movie
that tracks.
Legend.
That tracks.
Yeah, okay. Set in the bedroom from Mr. No Legs.
Yes.
If you haven't seen Mr. No Legs, you won't get that reference.
Not much of a stretch when you got no legs.
But that's clearly they shot that in somebody's garage. Okay, the scene with the unicorns.
Yeah.
It was literally like we landed on the planet, and then it cuts to after they're captured, like the interior of like the lobby of a movie theater or something is where they shot this.
Yeah.
Right, but they're still in the tri-system.
Yeah.
And the whole set they had for the tri-system was the sound stage with the sheets and the fog machine and the lobby of this movie theater.
Yep.
And that was it. That was it. And they walk in, and there's like Wendell is like this man child, right? Who there's like one throwaway line of dialogue is he got his own planet because no one wanted to deal with him anymore.
Something like that.
It's like he was just okay, but there's never any explanation of who or what this guy is. And so when Roscoe swings in and kicks the dude's head off, and we find out he's just a head.
Yeah.
It's never explained.
No, why
or anything or how.
But
or
then
what.
every scene that's cut due to, not having the animation,
Right.
it has to be cut in such a way to show Bruce Valanche just cut off at
the
his
lower
throat.
side of the
just framed, and he's like you're holding his head, but he's just kneeling in front of him.
And
basically.
then whenever they cut to Jason and it's like a widescreen shot, it's just a
dummy head,
just a big dummy head with his mouth open. You know it's obviously fake.
which they just kick around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
And then later, I guess we're not there yet, but
no, it's. I mean,
he gets his own body made out of a spare
robot.
Robot,
Yes.
Yeah.
What's funny is again the Earth stuff, right? The Earth, they've never. He gets kicked in the head, and he asks for a Tylenol.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Anybody got a Tylenol?
Yeah.
And she's like, you're gonna need more than a Tylenol. We're done with you. And I'm like, how the hell do any of you know what a Tylenol is? That Tylenol came out in like the 1960s.
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't know, but that's how you cure space herpes.
Space Tylenol?
Yeah,
Tylenol is actually an alien medication that existed in space, and we got on Earth.
Well, yeah, it's
from the space pirates visiting
It's
us.
a conspiracy
In the
theory, but I
1980s.
think it lands.
Okay.
I don't know how it works.
It's an interesting fan theory.
Thanks be to Bruce Valanche.
That's right. Thanks, Bruce Valanche, for Tylenol.
Try it again?
No.
Okay. That's going to stay in then.
All right, so he's like, fine, you can go see your dad. He's in the next room. But it's not her dad, it's Robot Dad.
Robot Dad.
Go see your dad. He's in the next room. Yeah.
That's literally what it is.
No, not a feather. Oh, go see your dad.
Yeah.
They search Robot Dad's memory banks for a clue, which just involves them looking at a screensaver of different pictures of microchips. I love when they're trying to do this stuff in these movies. And they're like, let's check the database. And it's just like, this is a microchip. This is a different microchip. Oh, yes, we have the information we need now. We've hacked the system.
It's all right here.
Here, it's a ring.
Spelled out.
It's a ring. It's like Niles and Dobbs and Hellboys just pressing different buttons and turning different things. And it's like, it's a ring. Oh, yes, it must have. He left this message because of my father's ring. Where is it? Oh, it's conveniently in your mouth the entire time.
Yeah. Just in the head of Bruce Valanche.
So if Bruce Valanche vomits up this ring and she touches it literally right out of his mouth, she picks it up and blows on it.
Well, he doesn't have a prison wallet anymore.
Yes.
Blows on the ring, and we get like this Princess Leia projection of her dad.
You're my only hope.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Saying basically not like the final expo dump of the movie. Daughter, I don't know if you're still alive, but I've made it to the seventh world, and here's how you get to me. You've got to stay on these coordinates. If you go off course even a little, you'll get sucked into this time warp and you'll be lost forever.
Yeah.
Okay. Final expo dump. Horrible writing, you can tell, is like at the end of each scene, they give you just enough expo dump to get you to the next scene.
Sure.
But not enough to get any further than that. And then just keep having to do expo dumps every single scene.
Right.
I'm in a place called Southern California. I work at a 7-Eleven.
It would have been great.
Yeah.
What's sad is that, like anything, they missed every opportunity for a joke.
A good joke.
A good joke.
Right.
Pretty much the running theme of the film.
Right. All right. So Before they can go, though, even though there's been no relational development, they've got to have a sex scene.
Oh my gosh, yes. Just
Right.
the unstrapping. It to me it was so uncomfortable.
This is another common thing in our movies. I don't know if you've noticed the movies we talk to, the love story components of the movies are almost always very poorly done.
Oh, absolutely.
Very forced.
And one of the things that we've seen now that we've gone through 60-something movies.
Nobody likes a forced love scene.
No.
Now we've gone through
Except for pirates.
Now we've gone through like 60-something movies. A common theme is that they put almost no time into developing, and just when it comes point for them to fall in love, they just do.
Yeah,
Right?
right.
With no reason or build up or anything.
Sure.
That's a common thing I think we've learned over all these films.
You know what really made this worse, though?
What's that?
So I paused it right about then.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
To take a break,
Well, yes, to take a
was
break.
Not
So-
to watch in
No,
slow
no, no,
motion.
no.
to take
wasn't-
some Tylenol.
So I actually went in the other room and I said, hey, movie's about half done. There's 26 minutes left.
Yeah.
They threw this in at the end.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
They did. And it's like, so there are these holotapes. It was like the danger room from X-Men or something, right? They can just go
Yeah.
into, and you put this holotape in, which was like Passion Storm.
Yeah.
And it's like you're on a beach in the pouring rain,
All right, I got another
but
one.
in a closet.
Yes.
I got another paint the picture.
Let's do it.
So it is a scene from Revenge of the Nerds
Yeah.
when they're in the moon room. Remember? Mm-hmm. Okay, but yet it's on the holodeck of the USS Enterprise.
Oh, nice. The holodeck. That's even better than the X-Men one.
Yeah.
For sure. And it's just, the whole love scene is just like, it's just like bad puns, slow jazz, and close-ups of tidal waves.
It was pretty hot, though.
That was my prom night.
It's just not, it's like she's trying to undo his buckle and she's making double entendres, and it's just like,
Yeah.
The
I'm like,
shaft
this
of your
is-
sword.
it's so stiff. And I'm like, this is the dumbest thing.
Yeah, your holsters.
This was literally made
For 10-year-olds.
10-year-olds.
Your gun is digging into my hip.
Right.
Einhorn.
And so they have sex, and we know that they do, even though it doesn't
Allegedly.
seem like they do. I know they cut to the close up of the tidal waves that's supposed to symbolize something.
It was kind of like the room sex scene.
Right. Yes. Oh, it was only marginally better than
Yes.
that. And we know they had sex because pretty soon they have a child together. So we know that it happened.
I got
Which-
questions
which
about
honestly-
that.
Which, yeah.
The time warp thing, you got to admit, that was kind of clever.
What? Clever for who?
For a couple of hot guys.
You need to get out of the shoe salesman.
Let me set that scene so you guys can discuss the good and bad side of that. I'd love
Okay.
to hear this debate.
All right.
But basically, just as they're about to, now they've consummated their relationship in this closet, and just as they're about to enter into the time warp or the coordinates through which they can pass through it safely,
Yeah.
the bad guys show up at the worst possible time to throw them off course. Now they're all knocked off of course, which Dad told them not to do. And they're in this time warp where time is speeding up. So every like second that goes by is like a day,
Yeah.
or every minute is a year.
Yeah.
Right.
Whatever.
And so they're all aging rapidly. And she goes through 9 months of pregnancy in about 2.5 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a perfect replica of Jason.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
right.
First it's a baby, and then
Right.
it's a kid, and then
Right.
Jason and everybody's getting all, like Roscoe's got this gigantic white
Oh
afro.
my
Yes.
gosh, that was probably the funniest thing of the whole thing.
Psych gags.
Psych gag, and Jason's got a long like
Old man
Moses
beard,
beard, and then their son at one point swings in to save them, and it's Robert Urich,
Yeah.
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 but just playing his son,
Right.
and everyone's like fighting and dropping and dying at because they're getting old. So like Killjoy's like 10 seconds ago I was just killing all these guys, and then he dies.
Yeah.
So you liked it and you didn't. Let's have it out right now, guys.
You're wrong.
You were dropped on your head when you were a child.
Why did
You thought this was entertaining
like
in any
it?
way?
Okay, so of all things, if you have that threshold of where this movie was, this took it up a notch.
Really?
Yeah, so if it's in the basement
much
already,
from a
Would
1 to
you
like a
sniff?
1.25?
1 to 1.1.
From a 1 to
So-
a 1.1.
Think about this. Of all things, they have this time warp thing, And the only funny joke out of that, besides the whole, I'm getting too old for this Danny Glover stuff.
Yeah.
No, is the fact that, okay, you find out she's pregnant because she just wasn't feeling good.
Yeah.
And then now there's the baby.
Space herpes.
Well, it could have been. They had the baby, and then the baby grew, and then the baby's in the fight in a matter of like a minute. Yeah. And then it's over and done with. Like,
it was the most original thing they did in the movie.
It was kind of a,
Because most of it, it's like a half laugh. Most of it was ripped and derivative from other things. So at least it was original.
So basically, how they established this or how they created this was hitting the fast forward button every few seconds, which was annoying as hell.
It was super annoying.
And then just simply having their hair grow longer.
They still look young. Like Roscoe still looked
young.
like young, but he had a giant white afro.
Yeah.
Well, there was a point where they had the two actors when.
Yeah, they did change it to old guy actors.
Right.
At the
Just
very
them
at the
two,
very
though.
end.
Just those two.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the very end.
And then the mom, the Nana, died.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was
where she walks in,
I'll
she's
give
like,
it- I will
oh.
say
that was funny.
Like, don't bother Nana because she's getting really old, and comes outside and she's a skeleton.
Yeah. In the maid outfit.
I just want to see the kids still bother her. Because that's how I feel as a parent.
Hi, Nana.
Like, I'm just dead, and the kids are like, Mom, make me some pancakes.
Speaking of bother, Stone Sour actually ripped off this part of the movie for their music video for Bother for
this is a
the
stretch,
Spider-Man soundtrack.
Oh, really?
Please explain
where
how.
Corey Taylor turns from young to old in the course of the music video.
Who in the blue hell is Corey Taylor?
The Slipknot.
Slipknot, Stone Sour,
Yeah.
I don't know. who that
amazing
is.
musician.
Yeah, he is very good.
Yeah.
But that's a stretch.
I'm familiar with the music. I
saying.
didn't know who he was.
I will say it's my second favorite time warp after Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes, that was a better one.
Yes.
It was catchier.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
And I mean, whenever you have Meatloaf in your movie,
If Meatloaf had been in this
enjoy-
movie, it would have still been horrible.
would Meatloaf make this movie better?
No, it still would have been horrible.
Yeah.
The herpes would have came out of it anyways.
My question is, did the baby
They
have
had turkey
space herpes
instead.
then too?
Everybody had space herpes.
I don't know.
Everybody that came on
Everybody
that
comes on the ship. That's what I'm saying,
That's
right?
what it is.
In the future, everybody
I
has
can't like a
space
movie that gives space herpes to a baby.
Okay, so the problem I have at the end of this slightly original take on time warp,
Right.
is at the end, everything's back to normal. Is she still
Right.
pregnant?
No.
She has to be because they didn't go
she
back
would-
to
you
before.
don't? Yep.
It just she just hadn't had the baby yet.
Yeah, she's got 9 months.
Right. But what sets it back? That's what I don't
He
understand.
threw it into the future.
Oh,
He didn't though.
oh yes, he did.
So he kills Space Pirate,
Shot it into the future.
or he kills the Space Pope or whatever,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it just snaps back to where they were
Right.
Yeah.
for no rhyme or
They
reason.
were on course.
They went back on course somehow.
Okay. And so
Don't
the bad
don't
guys.
explain how.
Oh, I'm not going to even try.
Don't try.
The bad guys are now gone. They're
Right, they
directly
went-
on
they
course.
went off course.
They've all de-aged back to where they were, and now they're all fine again.
So the bad guys weren't chasing him to begin with then? Like, how did they...
that's
'cause
what I'm
they
saying.
They stayed in the off course?
See, you have to look at which timeline you're looking at this point.
Right. Let's get in the weeds on Ice Pirates
time travel?
timelines.
Yeah.
The timelines and the different variants.
Space-time continuum.
Can we have a multiverse version of Ice Pirates?
mad-
Let's do it. Let's remake
All
this
right.
movie.
You have a linear scale.
Why are we not remaking bad movies?
That's thank you.
Why are people still rehashing like old, like good movies?
If Hollywood wants to remake movies, they should take movies that failed and try and
my
make them
gosh.
good.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
don't understand why we're not doing that.
Johnny Depp makes this movie better.
Okay.
Okay.
100%.
Which one?
Space Pirates of the Caribbean
Like gets to like do a spin-off.
As Jack Sparrow?
as Jack Sparrow.
Be good.
Disney
That'd be
would
good.
totally
I'd be down
make
for
this
Ice.
movie great.
All right. So as they're all back in, literally out the front window screen of the spaceship, they see Earth. Oh, it's beautiful. It's the seventh world. We knew it was real. Credits.
Da-da-da-da-da. Space Pope.
I couldn't have been happier.
Clang, clang,
Couldn't have been happier. I was like, oh, thank you. It's over.
Just again, another
I
abrupt
didn't need.
ending.
I didn't need any more.
I mean, at least it wasn't, hey, everybody, it's Smash Mouth.
Apparently, that's the worst.
Yes.
But apparently, there was a scene shot.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on.
We don't have the rights. We can't. We can't play. We can't pay for that.
Hush.
What was I going to say? I was in the.
There was
Sorry,
a
buddy.
cut scene.
Oh yes,
So they're all
so
supposed to be in Malibu, weren't there, or something like that?
it was Miami Beach.
Miami Beach. Oh,
There was
way
a
off.
scene shot where the spaceship literally came in to Miami, Florida.
Yeah.
Or like you see it flying over the skyline of Miami or whatever. And they just cut it. I'm like, why? You didn't want to provide any content? Like, you want to just make sure that people understood this was Earth and not just some random water planet?
The Cuban crisis was kind of going on at the same time. So they didn't want to show, be insensitive having this ship float up on Miami.
I just would have liked to have seen the princess's dad, like on South Beach. Right? Be like, hey, what's up?
It's got a coconut.
That's
with
right.
It's an umbrella in it.
It is a retirement. Florida is a retirement state.
Really, what this was a story of how the ice pirates destroyed the Earth because they brought space herpes to Earth.
Yes.
And ultimately
Wiping out everybody.
wiped out the planet.
But we got Tylenol.
Oh, that's true.
That's what they needed.
That's true. That's the end of the stupid movie, guys.
That's why they came to the
That's the end of the stupid movie.
And so now it's time, if you got anything in your notes or anything that you've written down that you haven't had a chance to cover, or if you watched random things in the background like I do, now's the time to discuss the little things. You guys got any little things?
Chicken wing dispenser.
Yes.
There was
And leave it to Roscoe to be the guy that's like, yeah, check it out. Hot
I know
chicken
there was
wings.
a couple of terrible things they did in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was definitely one of
80s
them.
Were
A different time.
a weird time.
I did enjoy the
transitional
small
time.
I did enjoy the small gag of the Space Invaders. Where like they're shooting and he's like, no, go this way. No, go that way.
It was like an Atari game.
Yeah.
Yep, that was their radar screen.
Right.
Their anti-laser defense system.
Yeah, right. That was great. I did like how, because it's the future, when he goes in to see the old guy we never see again in the hospital room, but because they're in space and it's the future, even the hospital gown is like bedazzled and sparkly.
Yes.
Right? It's just like, oh, we can't just have a hospital gown because we're in space. Make it out of silver.
Yes. Make
So
it out of
stupid.
tinfoil.
Right? It's so dumb.
It needs to be shiny and reflective.
It's breathable.
And then I always like in these movies where they have a dilapidated town where they have like somebody went through the work of putting population 1 on the sign at the Burning Man
So
place.
it's just dismal.
He would have had to be the person that
He's
went
the
through
only
the
one.
work.
Yeah.
I want to make sure everyone knows it's just me here. 1.
Everybody knows about this town, but it's just some dude's house.
That's what I'm saying.
And they call it a town.
Right. Population 1.
What?
So stupid.
Well, I mean, I do live in Vandy Town.
That's true.
It's true. It's true.
Any other small things or little things that you guys noticed in the movie before
I love
we
it.
move on?
I love the set design. They wanted to make it dystopian. They just get it to some random industrial place and just string up a bunch of old tarps and call it a dystopian future.
That's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
They use a lot
Some
of sheets.
Yeah,
I did that when I was 10.
some manufacturing
My forts.
facility. They do just hang
That's
up
right.
a bunch of tarps and do some smoke machines.
That's about it, man.
I want to
Done.
know what movie set they were on that they were filming After Hours at.
Right. It was some
Because all
other
they
set.
did was just put like tarps over the other stuff, like
Yes.
for close of business, and then they just filmed.
Cover all the Star Trek insignias, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
There was a lot of, you could tell there was a lot of after hour shots.
This was run and gun.
Oh, for sure. For sure. They only had $9 million. This is the thing that makes me so upset when I hear this. And I'm like, you know what we could do with a $9 million budget?
Mummer
A
Man
better
2.
movie than this.
A way better. Like, we've shot movies for like less than $5,000.
The next level.
$50.
Right. And it was more enjoyable. I'm not trying to talk about like our movies are bad. Okay.
But they rule.
But these people are professionals.
Right.
And they had $9 million and this is what they crapped out. It's just frustrating and annoying.
Sadly, 8.1 million of that went to Bruce Valanche.
It might have, but it is providing us with excellent fodder now on our podcast. So I appreciate that. Let's give this movie some awards, guys. As we always do, we start with the Will Patton Award for intensity. So could you find one single decent actor? And if he's not a decent actor, someone that was really intense, someone that was treating everything like it was as serious as a car accident. Who's your guy?
Killjoy.
Killjoy.
Hands down.
John Matuszak.
Killjoy, he nailed it.
All right.
Mine went to Pimpbot.
Pimpbot.
See, I can't.
Thanks for that award, blood.
Yeah.
Man.
What you doing, player?
I don't
Who's
know.
your award going to, Joe?
Man, I think it's going to have to go to Marcy Lewis.
Oh,
Who is Marcy Lewis?
Frog Lady.
Frog Lady got your Will Patton award?
Yeah.
She wasn't intense.
Thank you.
Yeah, she was. Come on.
All right, I
know she
We're gonna have a
was.
4-way tie because I gave it to John Carradine, Space Pope.
He wasn't
There was a couple.
intense.
Four-way.
Oh, the way he drew his eyebrows on, and the first time is like this, and he's like, "Death is too good for you. I've got something more planned." I'm like, "All right, I see you, John."
you going for it?
That's all right. He's going for it,
Yeah.
so I gave it to John. But 4-way tie for the Will Patton Award.
Is that a first?
For,
Have
I
we
don't
done
know.
that
I think
before?
we've probably done it at least at some point. But we now move on to our crappy acting award, which is the Michael Dudikoff
Gosh.
Trash Can Full of Dirt Award. Who is your Trash Can Full of Dirt Award winner for the
Everybody.
wor-
Mine went to Ron Perlman.
I won't argue a single person.
Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman.
Hated the hand joke. Thought it was dumb. Didn't understand the whole cooking. Like,
No.
unnecessary.
I can't. I can't.
I would have much rather seen a trash can full of dirt spit out a fake hand.
I don't. He's done too much good in this world. He's brought me too much joy to throw
Can't
him
give
under
it
the
to
bus.
him?
No,
No.
I can't. No,
I'm
Who you
giving
got
it to him.
then?
I honestly, I want to say everybody but him. Is it? Can I do
You got to
that?
pick somebody. We'll go to Mel.
jeez,
Mel,
okay.
go ahead.
Zorn, Jeremy West. He was like
Jeremy
the
West.
original. He's the bad guy.
Who's that?
He's the bad guy.
The bad guy.
Lord Farquaad.
Yeah.
No, they put John Carradine's picture on IMDb on that guy accidentally.
No, because John Carradine, I thought, was the guy that was in the.
That was the hospital guy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Are you giving it to the hospital guy?
No, I'm giving it to the guy who was the bad guy.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Space Pope.
Space Boat.
Space Pope.
Okay.
All right, I got one, I guess.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. It'd be
Wait. Hold on. I just came to a realization. I think I spent the whole movie thinking John Carradine was Zorn.
No, John Carradine is the old guy in the hospital bed.
Okay, well then that's the guy I'm giving my Will Patton award to.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Not the other dude. No, I mean, no, the guy, the Zorn is who
Zorn,
I'm giving
that's
my Will
Jeremy
Patton.
West.
So Jeremy West gets my Will
Okay.
Patton award.
But when will then be now?
Soon.
John Carradine, we apologize in your honor.
We are
in
the
your
worst
memory.
podcast.
I literally thought that was John Carradine.
You
the
can
whole
email
movie.
the show at theshowis
I think because he looked at.
They were very
I
similar
thought they
characters.
screwed up because they've screwed this up on IMDb before.
Oh, they do, yes.
But I thought because he looked like David Carradine that was who John Carradine was. I just saw John Carradine was in the movie.
Yeah, no.
I do this professionally.
Yeah.
Wow. What is anything anymore? I question everything I
You are
thought
in
about
your
this
own
movie.
time warp right now.
I am. Did you pick a trash can full of
Yes.
dirt award winner yet, Joe?
yes.
We've been sitting here for 10 minutes waiting for you to do this.
I'm just waiting to help you. I'll take dig you out of this hole that you just put yourself into.
I'm fully acknowledging I didn't.
I'll take Bruce.
Bruce Valanche.
Bruce Valanche.
That was the guy that played Zorn.
Yeah.
No.
No, he's Wendon.
He was the head. Wendon.
He's the head.
I thought Bruce Valanche was.
No. Bruce Valanche is played
Robert
the frog.
Urich
Now I'm
played
just messing with
Jason.
you.
Bruce
I know.
Valanche played the frog lady.
Bruce. I think he might have.
Yeah.
And
No. He
Wendell.
was the space herpy.
So we actually have a winner this time because I actually also gave Bruce Valanche my Dudikoff trash can.
Oh, nah.
So he will win the Michael Dudikoff Trash Can Full of Dirt Award.
You put a trash can on the top of a robot's head.
That's right.
Done.
We had
On top of a robot's head?
All right, so let's
Or
talk
as
about
a robot's head?
let's talk about our top 3 performances. Don't you dare. These performances don't need to be good. They just have to be your favorite. This is the subjective award. Who were your 3 most favorite performances in the movie? Mel.
Ooh, I gotta rate these, but I'm gonna go Jason number 3.
Okay. Robert Urich.
Roscoe number 2.
Michael
okay,
Roberts.
okay.
Yep.
And Pimpbot number 1.
Pimpbot number 1.
Well, there's 2 pimp bots?
No, there's only one pimp bot.
No, but Pimp Bot got my number one.
The pimp, not number one pimp bot, or was it number 2 pimp bot?
Yeah, it's the number one. Please rescue us, Kurt.
My number 1 went to Killjoy.
Killjoy.
I enjoyed his performance in this movie.
Okay.
I also, my number 2 went to Karina, Princess Karina. I thought she was really beautiful in this movie.
Mary Crosby.
And, yeah, I thought she was really, like, I would have liked to seen her in another movie. I don't know what else she's been in, but
She was in Dynasty for a while. Honestly, it really
Dallas.
annoys me. Or is it Dallas? It was one of those.
Both.
Was she in both?
She did a bunch of sitcom, or not sitcoms.
Here's the thing that pissed me off. And it's starting to drive me more and more crazy as I look into more and more of these actors. So Mary Crosby is the daughter of Bing Crosby,
Yes.
the famous crooner, the
Sure.
White Christmas guy, okay? And a lot of other movies too. But I'm starting to realize the more and more I go through these movies that almost everybody that catches a break in Hollywood is somebody's kid
sure.
or somebody's niece or nephew, or they change their names.
Yeah.
And they find out,
Like Nick Cage.
right, who's Nick Coppola, right? And it's
Right.
just so they don't want people to know that they are a Coppola or whoever, right?
Sure.
John Carradine's granddaughter, John Carradine was in this movie.
Yeah.
His granddaughter is Martha Plimpton from the Goonies.
Oh,
Okay. Now, all of the other grandkids' names are Carradine, but hers is Plimpton. And you would never know that she was a Carradine.
sure.
And it's like
Emilio Estevez.
for every Matthew McConaughey or Stallone or Schwarzenegger who makes their own way in Hollywood, 9 out of 10 people got in the business because their dad or their mom or somebody, a casting director was their uncle or something. And it just pisses me off.
Sheen and Estevez.
All of that stuff, because
Drew Barrymore.
I know so many talented actors
Sure.
and talented people that I've seen in little known indie things that'll never be seen by anybody, that don't ever get the time of day from anyone because they don't have the right last name.
Right.
And Mary Crosby, yeah, she's pretty, but there's a million other pretty girls out there,
No, I
and
understand,
she gets
but
these jobs
I enjoyed
because
her in this movie.
because she's Bing Crosby's daughter. Bottom line,
Okay.
it's the only reason she has a career.
I didn't know I was going to open up that can of worms, but
No,
I
it's not your
apologize.
fault. It's
Okay.
not. No, it's not. I'm
All
not.
right.
I'm not directing any of this at you. I'm
I
just
gotcha.
bringing this up because we talked about it.
I guess my number 3 goes to Roscoe.
She was your number 2. Matusak
she
was
my
number 1.
two.
right?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. I'll get off the soapbox. The more I look into, because as we do these movies and I dive in to see who some of these people were, and I start to find out almost all of them are related to somebody.
Yeah, I'm bad with names in
it just
general,
pisses me
so
off.
that kind of stuff just doesn't. I don't even.
Yeah. I got you. All right, Joe. Who's your top 3?
Oh, it's me. Oh, yay. I think we'll go number 3 to 1.
Okay.
So we'll go Ron.
Perlman.
Perlman.
Yep. Got
Yep.
it. Hellboy.
Go him. Yep.
Okay.
Hellboy. Because I know you dumped all over him, but I love him.
I've never really liked him other than Hellboy.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Enemy at the Gates. Too.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. Enemy at the Gates.
Yeah, he's great.
Great in that.
Never seen it.
Yeah, he had messed up teeth in that movie.
He was an alien. Resurrection, I think.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
Another great. Oh, whatever, dude. Let's do Michael D. Roberts is number 2.
Okay.
And then John McCusack.
John McCusack.
Yeah.
Oh, Matusak. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Matusak. I can't. Sorry.
Sloth.
My apologies.
Yes.
Yeah. Sloth.
I
like those guys.
Ron Perlman is actually Burt Perlman's son.
Oh, jeez, here we go.
Here we go again.
Who's Burt Perlman?
His dad.
Nice setup.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Nice.
All right, so my top 3 performances. I had number 3. I had John Matusak.
Nice.
Also as Sloth. Michael Roberts is number 2.
Yeah.
And I actually had Angelica Houston as number 1. I thought she was great in this movie.
I did like her.
She was classing up the joint with one of the only decent actors in the entire film. So I really liked her. I'm a fan of hers in general, but in general, it was good.
Yes.
All right, so now, guys, is the time that we have to ultimately land on some sort of decision about this movie as we leave it a smoking crater behind us. We have to decide, is this movie, is it just a bad movie, full stop, no clarifying. Oh, let me start over. Is this just a bad movie, full stop, Is it a bad movie that rules, meaning objectively it's bad, but subjectively we like it? Or is it just a straight up good movie with no qualifiers? What do you guys think? Mel?
I'll tell you, it was not as bad as I expected.
Oh, really?
Not as bad as I expected. Not as good as anybody else could ever hope for, though.
Okay.
So it is a bad movie that was tolerable enough to go,
Here
yeah.
we go again. He's sitting in Clint's chair.
Is it that chair? You haven't heard this episode yet. I don't
No,
no, was it
no,
a-
no, no. No, it's a bad movie. Full stop. That I actually liked a little bit.
Yeah. It was the last.
So-
it was the last one. It was
Okay.
the one that just came out.
Oh, it's out.
Yeah, the one that just came out, which is a very good episode. By
We're
the
just
way.
going to keep going.
James hates it when you don't.
No, I got to let him off the hook
yeah.
because he's only done it once.
Yeah.
Clint's favorite thing, he tries to make
bad
this
movie that's meh.
a bad movie that's meh. And I'm like, it's just a bit, right? It's just, but it doesn't rule though.
This movie does not rule.
No,
I
but-
absolutely will say it does not rule. It is a bad movie, but it's a bad movie that I kind of tolerate.
Right. So then you would say it's a bad movie that
bad movie.
rules
Yes.
No.
because you liked it. That's the scale. It's a
There's
bad
three-
movie.
you have three
It's
choices.
three choices.
It's a bad movie that I wouldn't admit that I liked.
That's a bad.
Then it's a bad movie that rules. Don't get hung up on the semantics of the word rule. It's just the name of the podcast, which is why we've made it into this bit.
Yeah.
It's objectively bad and it's subjectively bad, meaning it was bad and I didn't like it. It's a bad movie objectively, but I liked it. That's a bad movie that rules. It's a good movie. Do you get what I'm
Hide
saying?
over here.
Maybe I should change the name of the podcast
No.
or change
You're
the name
fine.
of the bit.
Just get rid of that chair.
Don't get hung up on the semantics of the word rule. It's
I think
just
that's the fun part of the show, though. I think it adds something. So as much as I know it aggravates you, I also think it's really funny that Clint does do that. And I think it's entertaining, and I think our listeners like that. Even though it annoys you,
Let's take
I
a
still
poll.
think people enjoy it. Because
but we
all
never
feel
are
something like
able
that.
to land on. We say, okay, here are your three choices.
Then that's the funny part of the bit is completely continue to press him every time and say, give me a straight answer.
I told him I'm going to come up with a 16 level system just for him.
Perfect.
He can't seem to get his head around these three options.
I'll go with 1D.
1D. Let me get my flip chart out.
Next to the
This
M&Ms.
is a bad movie that
is kind of
the first 20 minutes were good, and then it kind of trailed off after that.
Yeah, there you go. That's 1D.
That's 1D.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay, well, here's what I'll qualify this because I didn't turn it off. So if I didn't turn it off and I tolerated it,
Well, you
Then you're
couldn't
a
turn it
bad
off
movie
because you
that
had to
rules.
watch it for the show.
see where the problem is?
That's right. So what the question that's on the table before us now is, forget having to do it for the show.
Would I have continued the movie if it wasn't for the show?
Would you
No.
watch the movie? Okay. So then it's bad.
It's
It's
bad.
a bad movie that's bad.
Okay. All right. We're getting there. We'll get there.
Can I do my next?
Yes.
Great. It is a bad movie that's bad. Okay. Despite. Thank you.
Dun 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 dun
Despite the fact that I was entertained by it.
So you're saying it rules then?
But do you know why? No. I was entertained simply because it is fodder. It is cannon fodder for the show.
Are you not
Therefore,
entertained?
Therefore, I love watching these bad movies so I can go and rip on them.
So it kind of rules that you get to rip on it. then.
Exactly. But it is a bad movie, and I don't like it, and I will never watch it again in my life.
We have derailed.
Dear Lord.
All right.
We went from an hour and 10 minutes to like hour and 30.
I know we were on track to get out
We
of
were
here
out to get
like
early,
good to go.
but no.
It's a bad movie, full stop.
Thank you.
But what was that part that you said earlier about
Just
it
hitting
being
all the
fun
buttons.
Well, so...
and laughing at that?
well, there's certain parts that I enjoy, but it's still a bad movie.
so you enjoyed it?
No.
No.
Because Because
now you're just being a shit stirrer at this point.
Absolutely.
Hey, here's the thing. I'm never going to watch this movie again. It's just as bad as Boyfriend School.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll never see this again.
Never.
Bad movie, full stop for me too.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
The thing is if I was 10 and I was in here on this podcast, I might be like, this is funny.
Yeah.
But I didn't, and there was nothing that kept me on it. There's no nostalgia for me. There's nothing that keeps me to want to watch this movie.
I think even at 10 though, we might not like it because we saw Spaceballs at 10. That came out in 88.
That was great.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was fantastic.
Sure.
I think this, even next to that, would have looked terrible.
Well, yeah.
Go back to the movie. There's an old saying: even a blind squirrel finds a nut here and there.
Yeah, for sure.
So even in the worst movie, there's always going to be one or two scenes or one or two things that are like kind of.
But it doesn't make the movie good.
But it's not. It's not enough to carry.
No, I will say the one joke that literally got a half of a chuckle from me is when he put the napkin over the robot's head so that it couldn't see where he was.
Yeah, and it was spinning around,
trying to pick up the princess.
I liked the big white afro.
Yeah,
I thought that was kind of amusing.
So again, little jokes here and there, but not enough to keep me wanting to watch the movie.
No, but this is an absolute pile of garbage that should never be viewed by anyone.
No.
Definitely not my proudest fap.
You cut that part out.
You can cut it. I don't care.
It couldn't get me there. I mean, I tried. Okay. All right.
Should we have like a wank scale?
I mean,
We can't do that.
Bob was here.
We can't do that.
Oh my gosh.
Bob.
This one, I give a quarter mast.
All right, so we got
My holster was really stiff on certain scenes of it.
This movie was hard to watch.
we got to ask.
burning.
We got to ask the question that we always ask, which is, would Arnold make this movie better?
Yes.
And I think this is an obvious yes.
Arnold as the space herpy.
But it would still be a bad movie.
It would, but it'd be better than it was.
Right, sure.
Yeah, I'm not. Would he make this into a good movie? I don't think anybody could.
He would turn into a bad movie that rules.
I think so.
Danny DeVito would have made this movie better.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. Danny
John
and Arnold
Cusack would've made
together
this movie better.
as another. You know.
I loved her in Addams Family too.
No, John Cusack.
All right.
I don't
So next week. Next week we're talking about the rise of the machines, not in the one you want to see, Terminator. No, but
No?
Maximum Overdrive. Oh, yes. Speaking of nepotism, Emilio Estevez takes on some sentient trucks and killer vending machines.
Somebody's gonna have to. I'm gonna have to watch. I'm not on this episode.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna have to watch this one because I still don't understand the whole concept of the Green Goblin
car
thing on the front of the semi. I don't get it.
This is the only. I don't know. It's the only movie that Stephen King ever directed, and he wrote it. And I don't know what the Green Goblin. I watched this like in the early '90s, so it's been 20 plus, maybe 30 years since I've seen the movie. So I did see it, but I remember almost nothing from it.
Yeah,
images and flashes. Really, I don't know. I know it's another kid that has a career because his dad is Martin Sheen.
Yeah.
So. Not that Emilio Estevez isn't a talented person or has made great movies, but that's the only reason he even got a shot in the first place. I don't care what anybody says. That's the truth. Sometimes you don't even get in the door to even get a chance unless you have that last name. So yeah, when he got in the door, he had to not suck. So he did a good job. Great.
It's a glowing endorsement for him.
But just getting in the door is, don't tell me it's not because of who his dad is.
Somebody got to suck to get in the door.
Right. Some people literally had to.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, guys. So that's it for this week.
It's a real banger.
Something that I get upset about, but it'll never change from now till the dawn of time, the end of time. The dawn of time already happened. Guys, it's been a rough one. I don't know what's happening with me. I thought David Carradine was a different
You're all
guy.
over the place, buddy.
76 trombones, by the way.
That's it. What did I say? 78?
78.
See, we suck. We're the worst.
You know what a pirate's favorite letter is?
What?
Yar.